everyone, and welcome back. Today's retro recipes comes from Betty Crocker's Picture Cookbook. This book is filled with staple recipes, or key recipes as they call them, and then they offer you different versions of that recipe. So today we are making her fresh fruit cobbler, and because we can choose whatever fruit we want to use, I chose strawberries. This dish also includes her recipe for shortcakes. So if you would like to see how to make a fresh strawberry cobbler for Valentine's Day, then please keep watching. For the shortcakes, you will need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, ½ teaspoon of salt, I used pink Himalayan sea salt, 3 tablespoons of shortening, and ½ cup of milk. In a large bowl, sift all of the dry ingredients together. Add in the shortening and then cut it into the dry ingredients with a pastry cutter. If you don't have a pastry cutter, then you can also use 2 table knives, or you could even just use your fingers. You will know it's finished when it has the consistency of slightly wet sand. Add in the milk and stir it until it becomes a soft dough. Once the dough comes together, set the bowl aside. Now we're going to move on to making our cobbler filling. You will need 3 cups of strawberries, 2/3 of a cup to 1 cup of sugar, depending on the fruit you chose. I went with 2/3 of a cup. ½ tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. The book says a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon, but I opted for lemon zest instead. In a saucepan, mix together the sugar and the cornstarch. The book says add 1 cup of boiling water. However, I would suggest adding in the same amount of boiling water to whatever amount of sugar that you put in. If you start out with too much liquid and then you add in a fruit like strawberries that give off a lot of juice, then you're just going to end up with more of a soup than a cobbler. Bring to a boil and boil for 1 minute, stirring gradually, and then add in your fruit. Stir the strawberries around just for a minute or 2. You don't want to cook them down too much, otherwise they'll be mush by the time they come out of the oven. On a foil-lined baking sheet, place your baking dish. I'm using this cute heart-shaped Le Creuset that I found at Williams-Sonoma. The baking sheet will keep your oven clean if anything bubbles over. Spoon the strawberries into the baking dish. If you want to control the juices a little bit more, I would suggest using a slotted spoon and then add in as much juice as you want. Dot the butter over the strawberries and then sprinkle on the lemon zest. Finally, you're going to drop the shortcake dough by spoonfuls on top of the fruit. Bake for 30 minutes in a 400-degree oven. Serve warm with whipped cream or vanilla ice cream. And that is it! I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and have a happy Valentine's Day!